The number, rather, of Americans dying of heart disease has been growing faster than health experts had expected. Lori Johnson reports on what a growing number of doctors believe is causing the sharp rise in America's #1 killer and what you can do to protect yourself.
4 out of 10 Americans suffer from a heart-related health problem, and that number is expected to get even worse. In addition to the lives lost, the cost of treating heart disease is expected to reach $1 trillion a year within the next 15 years. A growing number of doctors believe the root cause of heart disease is inflammation in our bodies, brought on by consuming too much sugar and bread. Cardiologist Stephen Sinatra says white bread and other refined grains like pasta, bagels, muffins, and cereals are like sugar because our body responds to them in the same way.
Sugar is your foe. It's the villain. It's your enemies.
Sinatra says the primary culprit is high fructose corn syrup, which food manufacturers began adding to their products in the past few decades, corresponding with the dramatic rise of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Nutritionist J.J. Virgin points out that was also when the low-fat craze kicked in and when we replaced fat with bread and sugar.
When we started to pull the fat out of products, we either add or are left with sugar. If you look at a lot of the dairy products, especially like cream cheeses, we'll go to the light cream cheese and they actually added sugar in.
In fact, some fat-free salad dressings are 1/3 sugar. Doctors say check the labels and choose foods with less than 2 grams of sugar per serving. When John Speenberg started watching his sugar intake, he was surprised how many foods he thought were healthy actually contain too much sugar.
I love yogurt, but when you start realizing there's 9 grams of sugar in a cup of yogurt, I started cutting out my yogurt.
When it comes to fruit, health experts say stick to the ones that are unprocessed, fresh or frozen, preferably berries because they're the lowest in sugar. But stay away from processed fruit products like juices, jellies, and snacks.
There's easy ways to say no sugar added, still put it in there. Apple juice concentrate's the worst thing you could possibly have. Apple juice concentrate's got more fructose than high fructose corn syrup does.
So to prevent heart disease, doctors say reduce inflammation by avoiding processed foods and drinks and embracing foods in their natural state, especially a wide variety of colorful vegetables. Also choose healthy fats like olive oil, coconut oil, avocados, and raw nuts. And just drink water or unsweetened coffee or tea. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Some great tips from Lori. Pat, back to you.
Lori is a wonder. I'm following her advice and I've become an expert in nutrition. I went to the grocery store the other day, following her advice, and I got a cabbage. It was a huge cabbage. And I took the cabbage, and as the lady was giving us a little hand out, I needed some housekeeping, and I said, would you mind chopping half of that cabbage for me, cut the core out and put it in the refrigerator and the rest of it? And she said, okay. So she used to work at a restaurant, so she grated, and I've got this enormous bowl of coleslaw. So it's very healthy.
I was wondering what you were going to do with it. So you made it into coleslaw because you could have put it in soup, or you could boil it.
I'll just boil the other part. You just cook it in water, and it comes out real
The only
well.
time I ever buy cabbage is if I'm going to make vegetable soup.
Yeah.
I always forget about cabbage.
I made some Italian minestrone, and it was delicious, absolutely delicious. But I put in spinach, and I put in kale, and I put in cabbage, and I put in.
So it's not the traditional Italian minestrone. It's Pat Robertson's minestrone.
I'm Scottish, not Italian. I'm sorry, guys, but I'll claim your name, minestrone.